So you're thinking about moving to SLO County, California, but you're not quite sure what the local real estate numbers look like? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the numbers for November 2023, so stay tuned. If we haven't met before, my name is Mark Willie. I'm a local real estate agent and mortgage professional, and I created this channel as a means to highlight all things important about the county with a particular emphasis on real estate, mortgage, fun things to do locally, great places to go eat and drink, so you can decide whether or not moving here makes sense for you and your family. And if you like the channel, hit the subscription button. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. And without further ado, let's get into the video right now. And if you're not too familiar with San Luis Obispo County, we locals like to call it SLO County for short. We consist of 7 cities and 14 community service districts. And a CSD is basically your unincorporated towns without their own police departments or local city governments. Population, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, as of 2020, we're about 282,000 people and change, so we're not particularly huge from that standpoint. So I think some of the real estate numbers here in SLO County might surprise you because so many people have been calling for a real estate crash for the last several years. It just hasn't happened nationwide yet. It definitely hasn't happened in this county. Perhaps there's been some pockets or some cities throughout America where we've seen some price corrections. I know Vegas and Phoenix and some of those places that really ran up with new populations and prices. They might be showing some bigger corrections. But here in my county, prices are actually up. These numbers here are very strong, at least looking at 2023 November compared to November of 2022. For example, last month we had 163 residential sales, and for the purpose of these numbers, I'm counting single-family homes, condos, townhomes, and manufactured homes on land. I'm not counting mobile homes and parks. Those aren't considered real property. They're considered personal property. So compared to November of 2022, this past month we saw 163 sales. That was down 9%. Last year, at the same time, there was 179. It's not a huge dip, and I think what could have driven that are interest rates. The average 30-year fixed mortgage rate this past November was between 7.5% and low 8%, depending who you're shopping with. That time last year, interest rates were somewhere in the 6.5% to 7% range, so that could have accounted for slightly less transactions this past November. The median sales price here in November in SLO County was $858,000. That was up 5%, believe it or not, from $825,000 from last year. So I think that verifies what I just said, that property values in this county, they're really not going down. Definitely not now, probably not anytime soon, in my opinion. And I think the data is actually proving that. Days on market, that's an indication of from the day the home was listed for sale on the MLS until it went into contract to be purchased. November of this year, it was 13 days. Last year, it was 17 days. So actually a little bit shorter period of time this year by 4 days less. That is probably due to there being a little bit less inventory, in my opinion. List price in relation to sales price. In November of this year, the median list price countywide was $925,000. And again, the median sales price was $865,000. So that's a 7% dip from where the home seller was hoping to sell their home for and where it ultimately sold for. And I just think people were still a little bit in that greedy mode over the last few years, expecting their homes to still have gone up significantly in value. They still went up about 5%, which is good, but I think a lot of these home sellers last month were expecting their home values to have gone up even higher. For comparison, November of 2022, the median list price was $797,000, but the median sales price last year in November was $825,000. So that was a 3.5% increase from list price to sales price. All right, so based on the numbers we just discussed, we can safely conclude that the local real estate market here in SLO County is very strong. 5% appreciation for the median home price from November 2022 to November 2023. Really strong market overall. As important as those numbers are, I also like to discuss what numbers are required to buy a house at that purchase price, or at any purchase price for that matter. But for this illustration, let's assume you're going to be buying a median home purchase price of $865,000. You're going to be putting down 20% to avoid private mortgage insurance and to get a better rate. And you have a high FICO score of 760 or higher. You're going to be using a 30-year fixed mortgage product at a rate of 7.125%. And that's kind of where the average 30-year fixed rate is as of today, based on some research online and looking at what my company can offer. So at a rate of 7.125%, that monthly payment, which includes your principal, your interest, your property taxes, and your homeowner's insurance, is going to be about $5,300 a month. Keep in mind, the homeowner's insurance piece that's kind of an estimate. I'm estimating it at about $150 a month. That amount could be a lot higher or a lot lower depending on where the home is located, if it's in a high fire area, if it's in a flood zone. Your homeowner's insurance is going to be a lot more expensive than a regular cookie cutter home in the city limits. It's a much lower risk. They're going to have a lower monthly cost. But $5,300 a month is what we kind of estimate, and the income needed to qualify for that. This is an important topic of conversation. Is about $12,000 a month, which equates to about a little under $144,000 a year safely to qualify for that housing payment. But that's also, keep in mind, that's assuming you don't have any big debts on your credit report, such as auto loans, boat payments, student loan payments, credit card payments. This is assuming there's zeros or very small numbers for those minimum payments. So we don't all have the luxury of having zeros across the board on our credit report, but if you do, great, nicely done. But keep that in mind when applying for a home purchase. They're going to take into account minimum payments on your credit report, such as the ones I just discussed. All right, so there we have it, a pretty quick but hopefully thorough video about the local real estate market here in San Luis Obispo County at the end of November 2023. If you're looking to move here in 9 days, 9 weeks, or 9 months, call, text, or email me anytime. My information is somewhere right around there. Until then, I will see you on the next video.